Oh my goodness, it is a fantastic day around here because my good friend Kristian Harloff is here. I've wanted to bring him on for so long, and Beast, because he is a beast, is the perfect movie to have him come and join me for. I'm sure if you watch us, you also watch his channel. If not, you should definitely start. He, of course, pioneered the Schmodown, which sadly is ending soon. Yes?
Yes, October 1st is our last the Schmodown Spectacular. It's like our big Super Bowl, WrestleMania, or the big game, I guess you have to say. On October 1st is the finales. 9 seasons. I'm proud of 9 seasons.
That's amazing. What you built is amazing. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. And if you are not subscribed to us here at Breakfast All Day, we'd love to have you around. So please make sure you do that as we try and build up our channel. But now we're talking about Beast. Kristian, what is Beast about?
So Beast is a story of a father played by Idris Elba who takes his two teenage daughters, and there's something going on with their history. There's an event in their life that they're trying to overcome, and they go to visit Sharlto Copley in Africa. And what happens? A rogue lion, for some reason or another, starts terrorizing everything around them, and Idris Elba has to figure a way to protect his kids. That's that simple of a synopsis, Christy. It's that simple.
Idris Elba versus a lion is basically all you need to know at the end of August.
Yes, with punches and kicks to the face.
Oh my God. But you know what? I gotta say, the effects were pretty badass. I mean, the lion is very effective. Yes, they anthropomorphize him in ridiculously laughable ways. Like they assign feelings of revenge to him and like remorse. And
Yeah,
but he looks cool.
It started to remind me of Jaws 4 at points. With the way that, with the revenge and all that. So I was really worried about the CGI because of what I saw on television trailers. And I will say some of it was noticeable in the film, but it was significantly better. What I think was effective, as you were saying, I think the sound of the lion was very effective. Like whether it was the actual roar itself or whether it was when he would crash into things, that was very effective. And I was pretty engaged in the movie for the most part. And then, as you said, it started to get really silly really fast.
It does, but for a long time, it is lean and mean. It reminded me in some ways of Fall, which just came out, in that it is kind of like a limited location, limited one setting movie, and like how do they get out of it? There is a setup as to Idris Elba and his two daughters. One's a teenager, one's about 12, and they visit Sharlto Copley in South Africa. And then they get right to it, and then they're in danger, and then they're being attacked by this lion. A lot of it takes place inside this car, and they have established very efficiently here that he's a doctor.
Many times over.
It helps a lot. And then the fact that like the daughters are smart and capable, we can tell just from the way that they interact with each other. So when shit gets real and they're able to actually handle themselves, it's not all that shocking, and it is pretty tense. It's funny, I brought Nick with me, and he commented to me early on, like, is this entire movie just going to be long tracking shots?
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
And I was so proud as a parent, first of all, that he recognized that.
Yeah, of course.
But then I thought, but it's not gratuitous. I feel like the early on, Baltasar Kormakur directed this, we should mention off the top. Icelandic director, Baltasar Kormakur, and who has done many other badass action movies, including Two Guns is one of them.
Yeah, right. Mark Wahlberg and Denzel, right?
But the way it's shot, like the tracking shots in the beginning, kind of set the tone for how warm and friendly this is supposed to be, what good friends they are with Sharlto Copley. It like helps set the stage for the place that they're going to be. It's beautiful. And then once like the action kicks in, the camera work is faster and it puts you right in the middle of it. Did you hear the woman scream behind us?
I didn't. No. There was a woman who was next to me who jumped a few times, but I didn't hear a scream.
So I was a couple of rows behind you and 2 seats down from me. The first big jump scare, she let out this whoop of just like absolute panic. And I looked over at her and we made eye contact and we smiled. And I reached out and I grabbed her hand and we held hands for a second, like it's going to be okay. But this is that kind of movie that I think you need to see with people in a theater.
Absolutely. I mean, look, here's what the way I looked at it afterwards too. It's just the movie world has changed so dramatically in the last 3 years, and not even because of the pandemic, obviously, but in the idea of the streaming and the things that Netflix puts on and Amazon puts on and all these different streamers put on, that this to me seems like a movie that is now built for streaming, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, I think that back in the day, this is a movie that absolutely is an August, September movie that comes out. I don't see why now, when there's all these other movies that you could see on streaming, why this is a necessity to go to the theater, unless you just want to go to the theater today. If you're like, I really just want to go see a movie, there's nothing really out. Is this an hour and a half that you're going to want back? No, it's a popcorn shoving in your face, like kind of watching Idris Elba kick a lion in the face. But I actually thought the stuff that was more engaging personally was the stuff that you mentioned, with the stuff with the daughters in the beginning, and that relationship and how that was going to play out. And it kind of plays out here and there. They kind of just drop it at one point, but for the most part, it's when the lion comes in, which is why you're buying the ticket to the movie. It just got a little too silly for me at points of things. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's just things that are happening throughout it of like, well, why is that happening? There's no really explanation of why that was able to happen and why that person or thing didn't get more hurt than they did, or those. And then there's one particular thing that happens at the end that I'm like, well, that person would be so dead right now. And then like so dead. And they don't even try anymore. It's like, yeah, anybody can survive. And this lion is an X-Men. You know, that crazy lion with a movie Roar or whatever it was with Melanie Griffith, and I'm pretty sure it's called Roar. It's the one, it's a crazy movie where they shot, I think it was her dad, Melanie Griffith's dad, that they shot with real lions in this place. And people were getting, I'm telling you, Christy, look it up. And it is a crazy movie. There are lions that are attacking the actors, and everyone was hurt. Everyone was slashed up. Yeah, it's Roar, 1981. It was better than I had thought. The lions, the way that they looked, for sure. But I just, like I said, I thought the most intriguing stuff, especially when you have an actor like Idris Elba, that they were going to do a little bit more. There were scenes, and I thought it just shows you what great actors both him and Sharlto Copley are, when he first arrives and they have this conversation, and it's so subtle, the conversation that they have, but it's just these little interactions that they were having, and I'm going, I really believe that they are good friends, and I really believe that there's so much history, and they don't have to beat you over the head with it. But then fast forward, they start beating you over the head with a lot of different things. And there's a lot of foreshadowing that they set up right away. It's like, well, this location, there's so much in this location. Why? Because this. I wonder if that's going to come back later. It's like, well, yeah, it's like those kind of things. But, you know, it's like I said, it's a movie to me. It's an hour and a half. It's very fast watch. And if you go to the movie theater to watch it just because, okay, I enjoyed some popcorn and then I left.
I think it's way more fun in a theater than like sitting by yourself on the couch in the middle of the day. I think having that communal experience of like, you know, grabbing your friend's arm or whoever you're with. I was grabbing Nick's arm. People were jumping and screaming. Like, I think this is a fun, dumb late summer movie. I want to mention the names of the actresses playing the daughters because they are both really good. Leah Jeffries is the younger one, Nora, and Ayana Halley is Mare, the teenager. Yeah, I had fun. What is your number, Kristian?
I'm going to say probably 5 out of 10. Right now, as I said, it didn't really move the needle to me as much, and I think that we also get tainted to, and not to speak for you, but I think, like you said, like I'd rather see it in the theater. We also didn't have to pay for it, so it's one of those things to where, like, if I already have a Netflix subscription, then I watch them. Okay, that was cool. I enjoyed that. I had some fun watching that, as opposed to I just spent like $15-$20 because of popcorn and everything too on that. I don't know.
Pretzel bites are not cheap.
They're not. They're delicious. So I would say, I would say 5 out of 10.
Okay, I'm saying 7.6. I had a good time. I think Idris Elba fighting a lion is not quite as fun as Idris Elba playing a cat as McCavity in Cats.
You know, I never
there for me.
Never saw it. Never saw it.
Now's the time. Come back and we'll talk about that next time.